So, did Dear Evan Hansen, the movie, live up to its Tony Award winning stage show? It's time to talk about it. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Klepcx FM, brought to you by WeAreCritiX.com, a place where we talk about movies, television, and pop culture. And if you're into that kind of thing, make sure you hit the subscribe key and that notification bell so you can be up to speed about everything that I talk about here. Now, listen, for those of you who know me and who have been following this channel, I have been seriously excited for this film that we are about to talk about, and I am about to break down and review. We are talking about none other than Dear Evan Hansen. I am a huge fan of the musical, which came out back in Chile, based on its story, its characters, and its music. I have been obsessed with the vibe of this overall story. If for those of you who don't know what Dear Evan Hansen is, because we're going to get into it before I give you my initial breakdown and thoughts. It is a story about a young teen, an outcast, stricken with anxiety and depression, who writes these letters to himself to kind of pep talk himself into his day. An assignment given to him by his therapist. This letter somehow gets into the wrong hands of a other teen from the same symptoms as Evan, and he takes his own life. Now, when he is found by his parents, Evan's letter to himself is found on him and mistaken as his official suicide note to Evan. Now, everyone thinks Evan is the best friend of this kid who didn't seem to have any friends, and he has taken his own life. So now Evan goes on with this lie, and through this lie, he just becomes more respected, more popular, he feels more loved, so to speak. And it's all based on this one lie, the fact that he never really ever really truly knew Connor, of the kid who took his own life. So what did I think about Dear Evan Hansen, the movie? Does it live up to its expectations from the Tony Award winning stage show to the movie? Are the rumors true? Because there are a lot of mixed rumors out there, mixed reviews. People love it, people really hate it, and I'm going to try my best to give you the real, from a real fan who really enjoys this overall story and stage show. And he does some really okay jobs in a lot of places, specifically. And a disclaimer, guys. No spoilers if you don't know what this is about and you haven't seen it. But if you are familiar with this, I got to be upfront with you. There are really no surprises in this thing for you if you are a fan and have seen the stage show and have listened to the soundtrack a billion times or even read the book. If you were like a diehard Dear Evan Hansen fan, and like myself, you've been to the stage shows, maybe even seen it more than once, there are no surprises for you. Close to it, I went into this thing, it's literally beat for beat, song for song, scene for scene, a carbon copy of the stage show. Only differences are, there are 3 songs that aren't in it, which a lot of you already know because you're huge fans, and replaced with 2 new songs, which work really well. We're going to get into that. But the overall story and structure of this movie is literally the same exact thing as the play. So you're not going to get any real surprises. There are minor tweaks and changes about certain characters that don't really matter. They don't really change the overall structure of the story. So it is what it is, guys. You're going to go in, if you are a fan of this. If you're not a fan of this and you're new to this, then you've never seen it before or ever heard of it, there may be some things in there that might drop your jaw every once in a while and definitely will make you cry. We're going to get into that as well as we're talking. But the beginning half of this film, to me, my opinion, plays like the stage show. And what I mean by that is it's very difficult to translate the tone of this thing in the beginning half of this movie. So for newcomers, if you're watching this, you may see yourself looking around and going, what the fuck am I watching? I thought this was a suicide movie. And because the tones are like really high, then you get a little bit of the drama, and then it's like really high. You got a lot of the singing, and you guys who know this know what songs I'm talking about in the very beginning of this story. A lot of the beginning songs are very poppy. This is like a dark comedy in a sense, in vein of World's Greatest Dad. If any of you have ever seen World's Greatest Dad with Robin Williams, not comparing it completely, but they are similar, like very similar if you guys know what I'm talking about. And the beginning of the film is very, very tonally challenged. For people who aren't familiar, you would really be like, this is wacky. This is really wacky. It's wacky. But if you're familiar and you get it and you're open, you'll probably be like, okay, cool. I'm gonna take it for what it is. So the beginning for me was a little cringy because I'm worried about what everyone else is thinking. Like, I already have the pre-notions in my head about what the internet is saying about this movie, and I really want to love this movie. Like, I really want to like it. So when I'm watching this, I'm watching it toe tapping and I'm enjoying it, but I'm also like, ooh, what is everybody else really thinking right now? Because this is so much on the nose of the play that I don't think people are gonna get it right away. So, beginning half of the film, Chabowski tries his best to tonally make this thing work, and for me, it was a struggle. Even though I already knew what was to come, I was still kind of worried about. So, if you're bringing someone who doesn't know, you may get the nudge or like the what is going on, because it is a little tonally awkward in the sense that it just really just takes the stage show and puts it right in the movie. Ben Platt, a lot of people are crying about Ben Platt and how he looks in this film, and what, him being 30 years old or whatever. His performance is very convincing. I don't care if this guy was 35, 40 years old. You watch this thing and you understand, like, he was the original Evan from the stage show when it first came out. So you can understand, while watching his performance, why he was the man for the job. Not taking away anything from these other guys because they came after him or whatever like that, but he nails it. It's believable. And I didn't see any issues with any CGI or anything that people were crying about, saying that he looked like, the only time he looks weird to me, because he does look weird, and you guys know this if you've seen him perform, he sings very weird, like awkward faces, wide eyes. He looks very creepy at times when he's performing, when he's doing his thing and he's being Evan in the moment. But other than that, he's very frail. He's lost a lot of weight. He looks very much like a younger man. Like, he doesn't look like a 30-year-old man in a lot of that movie. And he's believable. He sells the performance. I mean, seeing him on stage, not on stage, but in the film with his mom, Julianne Moore, like, she looks like mom. He looks like son. It's believable. It's there. Especially for someone that's not close to this and you have no idea what's going on, you're pretty much going to buy it for that much. Only the people who know what's going on are the ones calling this out and kind of ruining it for people, because they know. But your average person who doesn't know is gonna go into this and be like, "Wow, there's some chemistry there." So Ben Platt knocks it out of the park. He's brilliant in this thing. He does his thing just like he's been doing. Julianne Moore, another great addition to this as the mother, Heidi, in this movie. You don't really get a lot of her. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you get her here and there, but you don't really. You know what? We're just gonna jump to it, because these are the worst parts about the film. Is whether or not Ben Platt could do the job, and then the tone issues in the beginning. But once you get to the second half of this film, and I'm talking specifically where they take place, they replaced one of the most popular songs in the stage play, which was Disappear. They replaced that with a new song with Amanda Steinberg, whose performance is, bro. If you guys have heard the album version, it's done by SZA, the R&B artist SZA, but Amanda does her version in this movie, and that song immediately lets you know why you're there. The tone issues are no longer a problem. You're well aware that this is a movie about mental health awareness, and it puts you in your place, and it makes you pay attention. And I'm telling you, I dare you to have a dry eye from this moment onto the rest of the film. That is when the tone just really changes, and there's still a little bit of quirky laughs here and there, but the tone completely switches, and you get what you come for. The drama is there. You see Amanda's character and how she relates to you get her song. It is a moment that really resonates. Like, even like in the stage show, like that song is just so powerful in its message. And that's a great thing about the songs in this, is you really get to see the interaction between the words and the emotion of the characters. So like when you hear, because it's so clear, you hear every word and you get to see them behave accordingly. And it kind of really hits you. It really hits you. So hats off for that. That was a great moment, the You Will Be Found moment. And then a lot of people are comparing, we get the old stuff that people were talking about, because I don't want to drag this out. I just want to kind of get the meat of what about this film works and what doesn't. We already talked about what doesn't, some of what doesn't. People complained about the chemistry, or the storyline, about how it kind of glazes over Connor and just kind of champions Evan as though there are no consequences in this film. That is complete, utter bullshit. Okay, because this film, for me, what it does is it takes your traditional cliche consequences, kind of balls them up and tosses them out the window. If you really open up your heart, open up your mind, and pay attention to the storyline that's going on, there are consequences in relation to Evan. They may not hit home for you, and you may not understand it, but there are some consequences that you really, really have to just kind of hone in on and pay attention to the journey and understand what was gained, what was lost, you've really got to hone in on it. It's not going to be traditional, you don't fight pain with pain. You don't fight hurt with hurt. This movie is the true definition of empathy. And that's my takeaway. My overall takeaway from this film is it's all about human empathy and understanding what it takes to help others move on, and what it takes to help yourself come to realization that everything you've ever wanted, you've already had. Or maybe you didn't learn that. Or, you know what I mean? Like, this thing is all about human empathy across the board, whether what you feel for the antagonist or the protagonist. It's all about human empathy. That's my takeaway from this story, and which is why it's one of my favorite stories. Yeah, guys, I walk away giving this thing like a 3 out of 5. A 3 out of 5. It's not the greatest piece of work. My one downfall was that I wish I wasn't so close to it, because like I said, there were no surprises for me. It was literally like I rewatched the play all over again, beat for beat, and I know the soundtrack, so I knew the song orders. I knew exactly when the songs were going to come in. When the scene happened, I knew exactly what song was going to play, and I just kind of went along with it because I love the music, so I sang with it. But by no means is this a bad movie. It's not a bad movie, especially for people who don't know it. I think it's a treat, and I think there's an overall message to be learned from Dear Evan Hansen. Overall, outside of the music, outside of who's in it, the overall story should be known. I think people should really hone in on the message behind human empathy and grieving, the steps of grieving, and how everyone grieves differently. And for that, I think it's a very powerful message, and I think it's something that people should really take seriously and give a chance. You don't have to like it. It's not about liking it. I liked it, but I like it for different reasons. Do I think this movie needed to happen? No. This movie did not need to happen. The stage show is enough. But there are some cool things in the movie that I wish the stage show had, as far as certain characters, because we get a little bit more of Evan's journey and where his upbringing and his motivations, things for his motivations to stand on, and also Connor's character. There are certain motivations for his character to stand on that kind of make the story kind of flow better. But other than that, I think the stage show does a brilliant job of getting the story across without it having a movie. Not saying I didn't want the movie, because I enjoy going in a theater and just watching this thing and locking out, but I don't think it was needed. I really don't think it was needed, but the characters do fairly well. Amanda Steinberg is the MVP for me. Her Anonymous song is beautiful, it's brilliant. Julianne Moore, So Big, So Small, her performance is, oh, dude, like I'm telling you, after Anonymous ones, I dare you to keep a dry eye. I dare you. My entire theater was sniffling the whole time. The whole time. And it deserves that. It's very touching moments going on, if you have the empathy, of course. If you share the empathy. Yeah, guys, let me know. Are you excited to still see this movie, regardless of the mixed reviews of Dear Evan Hansen, the movie adaptation from the Tony Award-winning Broadway musical? It comes out September 24th, guys. So make sure you mark your calendars and check it out. And please let me know what you think, or what you want to know, or if you've seen it already. If you think I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, please drop it down below. Like, comment, share. Make sure you subscribe. And for more movie news, television news, and my full written out review of this is live on our website, wearecritics.com. And I will talk to you all later. Peace.